Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and boy do I have something interesting for you today. This really kind of blew my socks off this morning, and so I'm going to show it to you for what it's worth, and then you can make up your own mind about what I'm going to show you. But first, I want to get started with XRP Raconteur. At Crypto Cubanito, this guy has been just pounding me with information lately, and so I really appreciate it. And also, before I forget, I had so many people that told me congratulations for 50,000 subs and all that, and I really appreciate it. But more than anything, I appreciate that so many of you, so many smart people out there have been able to help me put together great information to make my content worthy of 50,000 subscribers. And so that's what the real secret sauce in my channel has been, is that I don't pretend to be as smart as many people out there in the XRP community. That we have some people that are on the tech side of this that really are sharp. And I'm an educated guy, but at the same time, every day I am dumbfounded by the knowledge of some of the people out here. And so for me to be able to compile good information from so many smart people is a blessing. And that is what has built this channel. And I really appreciate it. And thank you all for the congrats. Okay, let's check it out, what he sent me. I covered this yesterday, Gate.io. But this is a more in-depth explanation of this thing. Gate.io joins other exchanges to restrict U.S. traders after Binance, Bittrex, Poloniex, and other markets set limitations to the activity of U.S.-based traders. Gate.io joins the list, and they're talking on here the list of assets. Let's see what they've done. One of the smaller exchanges has restricted a series of markets for U.S. customers. The cutoff date for trading those assets is June 30th. Everybody needs to be paying attention to this, folks. This particular company cut off XRP and EOS. But this, I believe, is going to start to be a trend. And that's part of the reason that we all need to keep everything on the Ledger Nano S, because we don't know how all this is going to pan out and what's going to be okay and what's not going to be okay. But you need to be staying abreast of, which you shouldn't be, but if you are still keeping digital assets on exchanges, you better be paying close attention to that exchange and their Twitter feed and the news that's coming out, so that you don't miss anything like this and have your digital assets locked up and never to be able to get them again. Okay, next, this was also from the Raconteur, man. I just wanted to read you this title because this speaks a lot. A bank in Liechtenstein grew its traffic by 900% by selling cryptocurrencies. Now, I think they're talking about Bank Frick, which we've talked about on this channel before. They have opened up cryptocurrency trading to their customers, and their traffic has increased 900%. Do you think other financial institutions are going to see that and just say, oh, well, we're not going to get into that? No, we're not going to do that. Of course they're not. They're going to get into it when people see these kind of numbers, when these other banks, their competitor banks, are not going to sit on the sidelines. Like Brad Garlinghouse said, banks in 2019 will begin to custody digital assets to survive. That's my words. They'll do it to survive because they won't be around if they don't. Okay, next. This is from Chinu Patel at CHINUPATEL 29 sent me this. And this is a tweet from CryptoPenny, which is at CryptoPennyCO. I want to make sure I follow them. The market needs clarity. While the idea of guidance from the SEC is good, This guidance creates new questions. Effective guidance can only come from Congress. And then they copy Warren Davidson on this, who is the guy who jointly put out the Token Taxonomy Act to declare digital assets non-securities. And then Warren Davidson comes in and replies. If you're wondering if these people are listening to us, he replies to the tweet. Companies are leaving America not to avoid regulations, but to find regulatory certainty. Congress needs to pass the Token Taxonomy Act. And I'll say to all of you listening, one of the most important things you can do is let your congressman know to support the Token Taxonomy Act. It would be huge. If this, no telling how the crypto market would explode if this gets passed. All right, and now I'm about to show you something that will fascinate you. It did me. Okay, it starts with this. I got a message. Well, first let me show you. I'll show you who I got the message from in a minute. First, this is totally not related to what I'm about to present. It is related in one way. This morning I was on the internet. Somebody had asked me how you add Cardano to a Ledger Nano S, and I was fooling around. I was searching Google to try to help them, and I typed in Ledger, and then I typed in Ledger XRP, and I wanted to show you what came up, what is advertised. I saw this, perspectives.dtcc.com. It's an ad. DTCC, which we covered in a video the other day, is one of it's a center point of all of this, folks, because they do the settlement of stocks, bonds, everything around the world I think it's some crazy amount of money per year, like into the quadrillions that they're settling or something like that. Okay. So I type in XRP, Ledger XRP, and their ad comes up. This is an ad that's being served up based on keywords. And I think the keyword, I don't necessarily think it's XRP, but the keyword was Ledger, probably. But when I click on this at DTCC, this is what it leads you to. Steampunk settlement deploying futuristic technology to achieve an anachronistic result. And it's a video by this guy. There's a video here, and they also have a white paper. Well, I watched the video, but if you click on the white paper, it says Steampunk Settlement Deploying Futuristic Technology to Achieve Anachronistic, I think I'm saying that word right, anachronistic result. So I started scrolling through here, and as I went through, they're talking about how DTC came about and all this, and how this is, and they're talking about the history, the past, present, and future. Well, look what happens when you get down here to where they start talking about the future. That's the present. And then we get down here and we're getting to the future. Part 3, the future. Look what part 3, the future is. Ledgers distributed across multiple nodes. And notice one thing, you are not seeing mining. You're not seeing anything here about mining. You're seeing nodes, folks. And guess what else you're seeing in the middle here? You're seeing consensus. Does any of that remind you of anything? All right, remember what I just showed you. DTC, remember, DTCC. Then, guest one. Now, this person, as I recall, popped up out of nowhere in the last, it says they came up in August 2018, but they showed up and they did. This is the person, if you remember, a few videos back, maybe a week or two ago, they had gone back on the ledger and looked at the creation of all sorts of accounts in banks' names, and I had talked about that on the channel. Well, this guy, I didn't know this, but look at this. Qualified actuary in finance, statistics, economics, accounting, mathematics, certified AWS solutions architect. And so anyway, this person is obviously very educated and very smart. Guest one is what they go by, at freedom944-29944. Sends me a message this morning and says, listen, you may remember this mathematical model that Susan Athey, who is a board member at Ripple, did and I talked about it on this channel a while back. So this person has gone and taken Susan Athey's mathematical model and has turned it into a website where you can they've taken all of Susan Athey's from her. No, I don't think for a minute that I begin to understand all this and how the model works and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm telling you is this person who does understand the model has created a website out of it. Susan Athey, I'm going to show you right now to make you understand, to tie all this together. This is Susan Athey. She's on Ripple's board. Let's show you what her education is. She's a PhD in economics from Stanford Graduate School of Business, BA in economics, computer science, and mathematics from Duke University. Look at all the academic appointments, awards, and honors, and it's got her bio. She's a professor at Stanford Graduate Business School right now. Okay, so we're not talking about some jackleg here. We're talking about real deal, highly intelligent people who know what they're talking about. Now, to her model, a fundamental valuation framework for crypto assets. This was a Medium article, and it's got a link to her thing, but I wanted to show you one thing from the Medium article, because this was the conclusion they came to. Now, this was back in June 13th, 2018 when this was done. This is what it says. This exercise, this is their model back then. This exercise produces an implied expected value range today for Bitcoin of 13,600 to 28,100, and for XRP of $1.59 to $8.23 on a probability weighted present value basis. Okay, fast forward to now. What this and here's the actual paper for those of you that didn't see it, from June of 2018. A guy named Robert Michnick, and I think he's a Stanford something. He's a highly educated person too. And Susan Athey, they put together this model. Okay, then this is the website that the guy from Twitter, I just guessed one, that put up. This is XRP calculator. Okay, now let's go back to DTCC before I go into his calculator and show you what he came up with. He reminded me to go back and look at the numbers I went over on from DTCC. Look at this. I covered this the other day. In 2017, DTC settled transactions worth $513 trillion and processed 325 million book entry deliveries. In addition to settlement services, DTC retains custody of 3.5 million securities issues worth about $40 trillion, including securities issued in the United States and more than 110 countries. Up here, in 2011, DTCC settled the vast majority of securities transactions in the United States and close to $1.7 quadrillion in value worldwide. Okay, now, I don't want you to take it, when we start talking about trillions, I don't want you to take my word for it or anybody else's word for it. I don't want you to take guest one's word for it. I want you to take Brad Garlinghouse's word for it. Okay, these are quotes. And this website, by the way, his name is Stedas.hr, STEDAS.hr. This guy has a great website. He puts together all sorts of great quotes from Brad Garlinghouse and people like Brad Garling, people in Ripple. He also has several awesome graphics about Ripple and what they're doing, as well as XRP. Great website. It's STEDAS.hr. Go check it out. Well, this is one of his graphics. 10 great quotes about Ripple by Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. For Ripple, that global liquidity problem is measured in the trillions of dollars. I think that people are realizing that Ripple is gaining traction. We're gaining engagement. We're gaining more customers. So there's been interest in that. And then down here, right? Well, this is another one. I don't look on the price of Ripple in 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months, but in 3 to 5 years. Now, he said this back in 2017, folks. In 3 to 5 years, we will do things to invest in the success of XRP ecosystem because that's in our best interest. And finally, right here, there are going to be increasing opportunities to use XRapid, which uses XRP, to solve a multi-trillion-dollar liquidity problem, and that's an exciting thing that you solve. If he is talking about solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem using XRapid, which uses XRP, that is code for multi-trillions of dollars going through XRP. And he hasn't said these type of things once. He's said them 10 or 15 or 20 times in interviews, okay? and I can show them to you. Okay, and now we go to the model. This is the model based on Susan Athey's model. She had XRP at 150. This was back in 2018. At present value, she thought it was worth $150 to $8 and something. Okay, we're going to use his calculator, and we're going to make the assumption that Brad Garlinghouse refers to a multi-trillion-dollar problem. He's used the number 20 to 25 trillion before. Let's say that using her model, that 1 trillion is the figure. The value of XRP would be $457 at 1 trillion. Okay? In other words, let's say using a $21 trillion figure, which Brad Garlinghouse has used. He said they're trying to solve a $21 trillion problem. Using a 21 trillion, if Ripple was just a tiny, on 1 trillion, if Ripple was just a tiny bit, if they were like whatever, 1 or 2 or to 5% successful with the 1 trillion or whatever, or maybe less, we're talking $457. Let's say that Ripple was successful in getting $10 trillion. 10 trillion. No, let's not do that. Let's say 5 trillion. And let's go down and hit the calculate button. We would be talking about a $718 value of XRP. Let's go to 10 trillion. This is going to get more and more exciting, folks. $1,044. Let's say that Ripple was very successful, and we're talking 20 trillion. $1,697 XRP. Let's say that we took this 40 trillion figure from DTCC. Where is it? Anyway, I just showed you the 40 trillion. Let's say that we took the 40 trillion figure. $3,003 XRP, folks. We've been talking for a long time on this channel. We've been talking for a long time. Brad Garlinghouse has been talking for a long time. Ripple has set out to solve a trillions dollar problem. Well, I'm here to tell you there's not a part of me that does not believe that $1 trillion, that Ripple won't be successful to that extent. Okay? And by the way, for those of you that are much smarter than I am and understand all these models and all this stuff, go and look through this. You might be able to poke holes in this. I'm just showing you what obviously a smart person who has provided to me, and it's fascinating to go through this process. But I want to make one bigger point before I finish this off, and that is I talk a lot about Wall Street coming in and all. I believe Wall Street coming in is going to be huge for XRP as well as many other digital assets. But that's only one part of it. There are many, including myself, who believe that the utility aspect of XRP will far and away blow away what happens as a result of Wall Street coming in. And that's what this is about. That's what this video is about. I'm not giving you a price prediction, but I am showing you what I think is a pretty detailed example of something that someone that's very smart has done that is worthy of people looking at. Okay, I'm going to finish this off from Brian Melancholy XRP at Mike Honcho _11. It was an Anthony Pompliano tweet. Many of the best investors in the world are really good at doing nothing for long periods of time. And I think that this ties right in with what Brad Garlinghouse said right here. I don't look at the price of XRP in 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months, but in 3 to 5 years, we will do things to invest in the success of XRP ecosystem because that's in our best interest. Folks, that was almost 2 years ago now that he said that, and he said in 3 to 5 years. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family to take a look at this website, xrpcalculator.com. Thank you for listening.